year 2015 in Austria. She is also a member of Syllabus Framing Committee of Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. On her credit, she has also many patents and publications. She has published various papers in the national and international journals and more than 8 patents on her credits. And she also invited as a guest speaker in various national, international conferences, seminars, workshops, and symposiums and webinars. We really greatly honored to have ma'am as today's chief guest for this wonderful topic on the project management theory and practices. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and guiding us today. So without wasting much time, I request ma'am to please start her session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I'm starting screen sharing. So first of all, I want to thank Srinath College of Pharmacy for selecting project management as one of the topics for introducing to the students. As aptly pointed out by Dr. Sheikh, project management is not a profession very well known in amongst the students, and in pharma industry, though it is an established concept now, it was pretty new when we started. Actually, even after working in industry for 10 years, I had not heard of project management. And I can very proudly say that we were amongst the very few companies in India who institutionalized project management, and we saw huge benefit of project-driven R&D research work. And now about the topic, why theory and practice. First of all, the word theory and practice, it is very close to pharmacy students across India, because we all study the theory and practice of industrial pharmacy as part of our B.Pharm curriculum. And theoretically speaking, there should not be any difference between theory and practice. Whatever we study in theory should what actually get reflected in practice. But when you practically start working in industry, you realize that there is a difference. So what I'm trying to do today is trying to explain the theory with some practical aspects about project management. So briefly, I will cover my presentation as per this agenda. I will introduce project, program and portfolio management. What is the difference between the three? Then I would briefly dwell upon the evolution of project management. I will explain what are the elements of a project and what are the general project characteristics. And then in specific, I will cover project management in pharmaceutical industry for discovery projects and for development projects both. So let us start with introduction to project, program and portfolio management. So what is a project? All of you M.Pharm students, you have to undertake a research project as a part of your M.Pharm program. Okay, so what is the difference between project and program then? Project has a definitive objective, some well-defined start and end. It involves some kind of research, design and development. It is done in a stepwise manner and it is undertaken to achieve a particular goal. Then what is an event? Event is a subset of a project and it is of a short duration. Like your M.Pharm project for dissertation is your project, but your annual gathering is an event. Or in R&D pharma, the development projects are the projects, but say arranging an awards function for R&D achievement is an event. So event is of a very short duration, though it would also follow some of the steps, some innovation, some objective, but it is limited by its duration. Then what is program? Program is a larger circle in which you are running many projects together. Your college is running academic program in which many students are undertaking different research projects. What happens in this arrangement is there are so many common resources and infrastructure that is established. It is not possible to do that for a single project. So the common resources or infrastructure is created so that you get benefits for all the projects. And that is not possible for a single project individually. So program also involves application of knowledge, skills, but the tools and techniques are a little different than managing project individually. Program management requires also the skills required to manage the interdependencies between the projects. And again, program can be an ongoing endeavor. Your inform projects come to an end, but the inform program run by the college does not come to an end. It goes on. So it harmonizes the projects, and the program components continue to work to realize specific benefits. For example, in Wokhard's context, I will say that Wokhard runs an antibiotic research program. And then each antibiotic that is being developed and that would be commercially launched in the market would represent individual program. For example, in this year, we launched 2 NCEs in Indian market under the brand names of MROC and MROC-O. These were 2 projects going on since past 8 years probably. So the projects have been now handed over to the business. However, antibiotic research program continues. Now coming to portfolio. Portfolio is even at a higher level. It is at the organization level, and it is a balance of programs, projects, and business as usual. Because for sustenance of business, you require a mix of both new product introductions, managing profit margins of existing products, and also ensuring customer satisfaction. All of this comes under portfolio management. So portfolio management aligns with organizational strategies by selecting right programs or projects, prioritizing the work, and providing resources. For example, I again will explain in the context of Wokhard. Wokhard's organizational mission is life wins. So Wokhard has hospital, its corporate social responsibility, Wokhard Foundation, the pharma research program, biotech research program, NCE research program. All of these are aligned in the portfolio, aligned in Wokhard's portfolios, so that we are working to achieve the organizational vision of life wins. Then how did or when did project management evolve? Okay, I'm giving some steps in the next slide about the evolution of project management. But to say that the project management came into existence in such and such a year would be an oxymoron, because it is like saying, when was blue color invented? I mean, the day we started calling it blue, that day it was invented. Does that mean that the skies were not blue before? The oceans did not look blue? Or was it that there was no gravitational force before Newton discovered it? So project management always existed, because in 2500 BC, when the pyramids were built, there had to be some project management to achieve such a huge construction. Or in 208 BC, Great Wall of China was constructed. Was it constructed without any management practice? I'll give examples from abroad. Our Ajanta and Ellora caves were excavated. they say that some lakhs of tons of material was excavated out and it was spread. We don't know where because there are no loose mounts available anywhere nearby. And the intricate designs and the whole architecture, it definitely required some research and development, some design, some management principles. So when I'm saying when did it evolve, I only mean to say that when did we start studying it as a separate business function. Before going to the evolution steps, I would like to quote Stuart Thomas, who wrote in Fortune magazine in 1995 that the old middle managers are dinosaurs. A new class of manager mammal is evolving to fill the niche they once ruled, the project managers. Unlike his biological counterpart, the project manager is more agile and adaptable than the beast he is replacing, more likely to live by his weights than throwing the weight around. So basically, the days are gone when respect was demanded. Now you have to even earn the respect, and that doesn't come only by showing authority. It comes when you are working collaboratively, when you are more agile, helping, mentoring. Then only you get respect in today's world, and that is what a project management manager is supposed to do. Again, I would like, sorry, I said that I'll go to the evolution steps first, but then there are a few examples of the companies that I want to cite here who continued their business through projects. First of all is the General Electric. Thomas Alva Edison invented his first incandescent light bulb in 1870, and from there onwards in 20 till 2020 the business is still on, and not only on, they are still the world leaders. And even their name also is like General Electric, so they have not restricted themselves to only one kind of business. What started with maybe electric lamps, then hydroelectric power, gas turbine, jet engines, then wind turbines, industrial internet, manufacturing. GE Health is also there, who are very active in devices. And all these initiatives, actually, each of these verticals, they represent a sub portfolio. And then there are several projects taken in each portfolio. That's how they kept their business evergreen. And one such example we have in India is the Tatas, who Jamshedji Tata started his business in 1868. And when you consider 1868, historically speaking, it was just 11 years after the first War of Independence, 1857 War of Independence, where India was struggling to regain its sovereignty and independence. And that time, Tatas were planning to build a business empire which would thrive in independent India. So what happened? They took over so many different projects, and then they excelled in most of them. What started as an oil mill, it branched out in so many different fields listed here, and actually it does not include all of the fields that Tata's cover. So, and the beauty of this is Jamshedji Tata, he had a vision to start a steel company, a world-class hotel, and a financial services company. None of these projects came into existence in the lifetime of Jamshedji Tata, but he sowed the seed, and hence he's still called father of industrial revolution in India. So we are all aware of the Taj Hotel in Mumbai. Uh, then Tata Steel, which started at Jamshedpur, and also the Tata Capital and Tata insurance companies and all. Later on, even aviation and other things were added. Why am I dwelling in such a detail is that any innovation, it starts with a project, and hence it underlines the importance of project management. Now coming to the important milestones in evolution of project management. In 1911, Frederick Taylor, he published the principle of scientific management. And for the first time, he had advocated output-based incentives or remuneration to the industrial workers. And then in 1917, Henry Gantt, he published Gantt chart. Are you all aware of Gantt charts? It gives a visual representation of the activity against the timelines. Later on, in 1956, American Association of Cost Engineers was founded. Basically, it gave a scientific background or basis for estimating the cost of a project. Then in 1957, DuPont released critical path method, the CPM, and immediately in 1958, US Navy developed PERT, program evaluation and review techniques. Later on, in 1962, US Defense made it mandatory to sorry. Okay. In 1962, US Defense Department made it mandatory to represent every project that it was going to undertake in WBS structure. WBS is work breakdown structure. This is one of the very favorite topics personally for me. Many a times I tell my project managers to establish WS in more in details, because when you look at any project, it looks such a vast and such a big thing that you probably think that it would be very difficult to scale the project. So then I tell them, you don't have to map whole of the project in one go. Break it down in work breakdown structure, define the work breakdown structure, and then drill it down. So my favorite sentence there is, how do you eat an elephant? Any answer? Bite by bite. So basically you break it down to many numerous sub projects or sub milestones so that you can define it in a better way. In 1965, International Project Management Academy was founded, and in 1969, Project Management Institute was founded. PMI Institute is the worldwide institute which runs a certification and different kinds of academic credit programs for project managers. In 1984, Eliyahu Goldratt, he published Theory of Constraints, and the beauty of Goldratt's writing is he writes it in the form of novel. So his first novel was The Goal, and it actually represented in such a nice way how the goal of improving productivity was achieved through working through a maze of constraints. And based on that novel, later on, he published his Theory of Constraints. And in 1967, the same author again published another novel called The Critical Chain Management, in which the critical chain project concept was elaborated. And this deals with, and that would probably interest you, it deals with the constraints faced by an academician, a professor at a university, that he has to have more projects coming in so that he can keep his department moving on. So what is important in any project, that it helps in business sustenance. So that was for project management in general. Coming to pharma industry, unfortunately, such milestones are not listed. So what I tried to see through was the publications on project management books, specifically for pharma industries. In 1997, Tony Kennedy published Pharmaceutical Project Management. Then in 2004, Laura Brown published her book, Project Management for the Pharmaceutical Industry. Later in 2010, Pete Harpum has a book on pharmaceutical and biotechnology industries, but even today I have not come across a book on project management for generic pharma industry. So on a lighter side, I have written that maybe I will write one sometime soon. So why are projects important? In today's world, projects are becoming more and more important because of the shortened life cycle. Gone are the days when aspirin was introduced in the market and it is still selling. Or probably all of us, we still know the photocopying machine by the brand name Xerox, or the steel cupboards by Godrej cupboard. Those strong brands are almost non-existent these days. The generic competition comes in so fast that actually your life cycle for a product has shortened. You have a very narrow product launch window. I will explain this in the context of pharma industry later on, after we look at one project case study. Increasingly, the projects are becoming complex and technical. Now, very few companies are actually interested in making simple liquid, oral liquids or immediate release tablets, because coming to India, most of the industries would look at it that they are, low profit business. So, and where do we like to go for more personalized medicine and more technology based products? This I'm now again speaking about the pharma products, but the same is true all across the industry. Now, whatever we may say, be vocal for local, but we all aim as industry representatives to market our products worldwide. And we are undergoing an economic phase and mostly influenced by this pandemic, which has a low market and low inflation. In all of these things, some innovation is required to come out of this situation, and hence project management is important. Now let us start with a case study and actually thanks to this lockdown that I could get time to see some of the movies, and I was extremely pleased and happy to see that there was at least one movie that was based on project management. So I have selected this case study, Mission Mangal. So as you can see in this picture, it was a very complex project. It involved functioning between different streams of expertise. Like I have just shown as an example representation here. Actually, the Mission Mangal involved many different specialities working on different aspects of the project. But just to give you an example, it involved working on satellite design, program autonomy, navigation and communication, what else, propulsion control, and all this. It had a specific goal, and that was to be the first nation to launch a satellite in Mars orbit in maiden attempt. Of course, it involved research and development and design. It was constrained by the budget. Uh, it only had 400 crores budget, and eventually it ended at 450 crores. And that is just 75 million US dollars. And it is about 11 to 12% of what the budget was assigned to NASA. So basic, and again it was time bound. As I said, the launch window, it was really a very narrow launch window, because the time slot available for launch was only between 28th October 2013 to 19th November 2013. That is the time when the distance between um, Earth and the Mars is at the minimum, because that during that phase, Earth is at a distance farthest from the Sun, and Mars is at a distance nearest from the Sun, and hence the distance between the two planets is at the minimum. So it actually represents all the theoretical aspects of project management that I just explained. And Vidya Balan played the role of project manager, though she is called project coordinator there. So what did she do? She helped to mobilize the resources. Do you remember the meeting they have with the NASA's chairman, played by Vikram Gokhale, wherein he says that, where do I give you budget for buying the accessories and other things required for mission Mars? Which she says, we already have those. We can mobilize it from Chandrayaan mission, which is now postponed. We have the transponders, we have such and such things. So she helped to mobilize the resources. She was keeping a watch on budget. Remember, she tells the material, the South Indian scientist who is working on the materials, to आधे कप चाय की आदत डालो. So she is keeping a constant watch on budgets. She is challenging the assumptions and interpretations. Size छोटा करो, weight कम करो, use little so that it conservatively uses the fuel. And again, she is also keeping the team motivated. She celebrates the birthday of scientists in them, and she says that how many of us get an opportunity to work on the dream that we cherished from the childhood. So she has nicely played the role of a project manager, but that is not where the role of project manager ends. Actually, this movie was only about one project, but in practice, a project manager has to handle many projects. So he has to learn to cross prioritize between the projects. Then he has to help in getting technical support. You may not have all the technical support available in house. For example, we were developing, why only one project, but I can give you one specific example. We were working on a low molecular weight heparin. So for characterization of that, from where and all, we actually got support from, like starting from University of Georgia to University of Shanghai, and I mean from actually two ends of the world, one from east and one from the west. And so when we were working on some other project wherein the particle morphology study was involved, we got in touch with people from Singapore, then University of Bath. Then there were consultants from, again, another European company. One consultant came from Algeria. Then there were people from United States also. So as I'm saying, the products are going global, and so also the resources are also available from all corners of the world. So the project manager has to develop a network in such a way that he makes the technical support available when the project is getting stuck. At the same time, he has to remain neutral and should give an unbiased status of the project. And that helps management to take a decision. It is probably more profitable to kill a non-performing project than to bring on board a very high value project, because the non-performing projects, they keep on, like a termite, they keep on nibbling the resources of the projects, and then they can hamper the work of other projects which have better potential. So sometimes it is necessary to stop the project if it is not performing to the expected level. And in doing so, project manager also develops a repository of technical and business knowledge, so that when a similar kind of problem arises in the next project he is handling, he can very quickly connect the dots and make the prior knowledge, tacit knowledge, available for the next project. So classically, a project is characterized by what is called as triple layer constraint: the cost, quality, and time. Okay. So what do you say? The project would succeed if it is managed in given budget, in the given time, and it meets the quality standards. Some would say that okay, it would, but then to do so, we will have to add these peripherals, like we will have to define success, we will have to first clearly define project objectives, so that you know what is the success. We should have predefined controls on the quality of the product or project that is being developed. It should have reasonable expectations. The task and activity milestones should be set on a reasonable expectation level. Like you cannot give too much of a stretched goal. At the same time, you cannot give a lazy buffer, so that it should be a mix between stretch and reality. Everyone's responsibility should be clearly defined, and the progress in terms of cost, quality, and time should be monitored on a real-time basis. Okay, all these things are given. Does the project succeed? Yes, it did. We all heard the signature speech by PM Modi when he said that Mission Mangal was launched at a cost wherein अहमदाबाद में 1 किलोमीटर जाने के लिए 10 रुपए लगते हैं. हम यहाँ से मंगलयान गए और खर्चा आया 7 रुपए से भी कम. Yes, it did work. Then when it was when it was inserted in Mars orbit, Economic Times reported that India creates history as Mangalyaan successfully enters Mars orbit in first attempt. That is, the media accolade also came. And it was taken cognizance by National Geographic, BBC, Washington Post reported that India becomes first Asian nation to reach Mars orbit, and it joins the elite global space club. A rival country like China even had to say that it has become the pride of India. So it was successful. Why? Because it met the triple constraint: cost, quality, and time. If that is so, then I am quoting one more example, again from Indian industry, wherein the product met all the three set goals of cost, quality, and time. And not only that, it actually created new pathways for product introduction and making product available, distribution, control, innovation in all these things. And still, it was considered to be a failure, Tata Nano. First, when Tata Nano was being launched, it was being cited as a success story for project management. And on a hindsight, if you just Google Tata Nano, you will see these many images wherein they are speaking about Tata Nano's failure. Why? there is a fourth quadrupole, that is the client satisfaction. You must have heard a punchline which says that we cannot spell success without you. And that is true. Unless the client is satisfied, the most innovative and best quality of product may get rejected, and hence the project may become a failure. And hence, the fourth dimension of project management is client satisfaction. So having said that, let us study which are the general characteristics of a project. As I said, it has a specific objective, start and end. The boundaries are defined in terms of scope, budget, schedule, and resources. It is the building block in the design and execution of organizational strategies. And how is it that, I first explained about the mission statement that Wokhard has, life means. But coming to a lower level, but on a strategy level, say a company makes an announcement. And remember this, how either the projects are initiated from the strategy point of view, or when a strategy statement is made, a lot of homework on the projects is done before the company announces its strategy. So I'm giving you a very simple example. Suppose a company makes an announcement that we want to manufacture pharmaceutical products which are for the unmet patient needs and are distributed all over the world. So how many plans can crystallize out of this? When we say that they are available at affordable prices. So first of all, probably the short-term mission would be to bring in operational efficiencies and reduce the cost. So the project will start to develop a second, probably a second API source, work on the excipient costs, work on the processes so that the cost is minimized. So that could be your immediate or short-term goal. Second goal could be to develop new markets for the existing projects. At the same time, start new working on new projects, and the long-term goal could be new projects for the global market. So the organizational strategies are executed through projects. Again, they are tools of innovation. When I say that I want to reduce overheads and improve my margins in my existing products. You have been working on those products, or you have been manufacturing the products for years together. Now, when you are given a challenge to reduce the costs, you think innovatively. How can you reduce the cost? Wherein you can bring efficiency? Can I bring automation somewhere? Can I do online testing, inline testing, so that I reduce my QC dwell time? All these things they give birth to the innovation. They are also vehicles of change. Your old assumptions are challenged all the time, and hence a new order evolves through projects. What is more important is it makes you cross the functional boundaries. It breaks the silos. I have seen this mind block even in very senior people, that they don't come up front and speak of their problems. I many a times say that problems have to be highlighted. They should be thrown in the open to the public. Then only probably you will come across some probable solutions, some possibilities which you can work upon. Of course, the traditional management functions like planning, organizing, motivation, directing, and control, they also apply to the project management. But the principal objective, as I explained in the earlier slide, is customer satisfaction. and that you have to achieve within the constraints of technical constraints, cost, schedule, and quality. And necessarily the projects are terminated upon successful completion. So these are the general project characteristics. Now coming to project life cycle. Any project has to go through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 4, like concept, planning, development, execution, and closure or termination phases. When it comes to pharma projects, or for that matter, any project, how do you start a project? You have to start with homework. Which project you have to screen? I'm giving you an example of, say, a generic pharma project. So how do you start selecting a project? You screen through possible project ideas. Then you shortlist a few projects. You define the goal, what you want to do. Like, suppose I say that I want to introduce quality generics in, say, Europe market. So then you will start with a market research. Then you will come up with a list of projects to work on. You will define the goal or territories. Then you will work out resources, practicality, schedule, chances of success. And all this will form a project concept note or a project proposal, which goes to the management for approval. Then based upon management review process, the project gets approval. And in the second phase, you then drill down the project. As I said, then you define the work breakdown structure, which are the major milestones. What is the timeline required to achieve that milestone? How are you going to plan communication of that milestone? And that this communication could be either to the investors, or it could be within the internal stakeholders, or it could be the MIS process, that is the management information system. All these things are part of the planning. You have to spend more time in the planning and deploy a little bit more of technical skills, so that you can actually assess and make a risk statement. So what can go wrong, and then what other possibility of correction can be taken. At least some risk element has to be defined there. At the same time, you also have to define the TPP, that is target product profile, or quality target product profile, QTPP, the way it is said in pharma industry. And in this initiation phase, you have to spend more time on doing the homework there. Then you enter the development stage. Then you are further defining it. Okay, sorry. In the second stage, you also define the budget in terms of manpower, infrastructure requirement, and the revenue budget. And then development phase, you start working on those strategies. You develop the product. And then you also develop which are the key performance indicators, the CMAs, the critical material attributes, the CQS, critical quality attributes, and critical process parameters. And based upon your renewed knowledge of the product, you have worked on that product for quite some time, then you can actually revise your risk statement. At this point in time, your product is ready for execution. If we are speaking about a pharmaceutical generic product, then I would say that the lab trial is done, lab development is done, you have done lab stability studies, and or maybe you have even conducted a pilot bio study, and you are ready for execution or ready for taking exhibit batches. The next phase is execution, wherein you are actually starting scale up. You are procuring the materials at a production scale. And in execution phase is the longest phase, because then in pharma industry, first you have to take the exhibit batches, you have to do the analytical and process technology transfer from R&D to the manufacturing setup. You have to demonstrate the batches, carry out the stability, and here the product is ready for delivery, because then here you are making the submission. And even after the approval, till you complete the first 3 validation batches and first campaign launch campaign is completed, I would say that it is still in execution phase. Once you have successfully completed the launch campaign, then you go to the final phase of closure or termination of the project. Then you also record the lessons learned, take a feedback, so that you build in the knowledge which would come handy for your next project. So which are the variables that can change the project's path? Of course, market or customer's interest. Then amount of investment needed. You start with a project and then you suddenly realize that no, probably this project would require more investment in terms of money and time. And how many resources would be engaged, and your resources could be again financial, technical, infrastructure, or human. And basically, what are the chances of success? What is the risk appetite your company has? All of this will define a path a project has to take, whether the project will continue or it will be killed in time. This was about the project. When someone asks me that I want to implement project management, how do I go about? So start where you are, with what you have, make something of it and keep on improving. That's what I would say. So to begin with, basically a management awareness has to be created about project management. The management has to define the level to which it is going to support the project management, and they will have to define the project because process. What happens is, I have seen it in many organizations. Every organization wants to have a project management, but usually they start with very junior associates who are project managers. So they cannot actually demand work from their senior colleagues. They don't have authority on the budget. They cannot take a decision to cross prioritize between the projects. So what happens is they end up doing a timekeeper's job, or at the best an event manager's job. So if that is the very rudimentary state of project management. So what is required is the project management has to be organizationally supported, and we have discussed this all across the globe. I have seen people complaining about it, that the management wants project management process in place, but then they are not enough empowered. They should have the responsibility and liberty so that the projects are delivered in time. Excuse me. So suppose your organization is at this stage. So the next step will be to standardize the process of project management, and also map your project flow. Then define milestones. Estimate the schedules to achieve each and every milestone. At this point, probably you won't have the historical data to help you get a correct estimate. So in that case, you can take advice from the experts and define your milestones. And then also define objectives not only for the project, but also for the project management. What exactly we want to achieve through project management. The third step would be to verify and validate the process of project management that you have institutionalized. Then make it applicable throughout you can start as a pilot project and then make it applicable throughout the organization. Then you benchmark the estimates, whatever you had estimated earlier, and what are your achievements, how correctly did you do the estimation of the resources, and how well do you compare with the industry averages. And at this point in time, probably you would like to invest in project management training for your project managers. The next level in the hierarchy of project management implementation is it has to be integrated with corporate processes. That is, project management becomes a part of corporate decision making procedure, so that the portfolio uh, is aligned to the organizational strategies, and there is a seamless transition to the projects through project management. You would have a well-established project management vertical, and at this point in time, you start using advanced tools for project management, the tool and techniques. And it does not end there. You have to keep on building the knowledge repository. You have to keep on mentoring your juniors, and then the improvement continues. So, having said this about project management in general, now I will come to project management in pharmaceutical industry specifically. I'm going to cover discovery projects as well as development projects. Before that, let us see who all are the clients or customers in pharma projects. The obvious answer would be the end user or the patient, who is looking for ease of administration, no side effects, and desired therapeutic benefit. But he is not the only customer, because in most of the cases, the decision making whether to use your product or no is the healthcare provider. So, what is his expectation? He wants a desired pharmacological response with no pharmacokinetic variability between batches. So, when you are giving your medicine, it should perform the same way between batches and with different patient classes also. What is the expectation from your management? Quick return on investment. It should add to the brand building, and it should also provide a scope for future business expansion. Today, I am filing a product in India. It should have a potential to take it to other countries, to Europe, to America, to say Latin America. So, all that future possibilities should be built in my project. What business, finance, and accounts team expect? Again, market capitalization, business opportunities, managing cash flow. I mean, the finance would want minimum investment and minimal dwell time for the investments and early profits. If accounts would look for adherence to the budget and timelines. What would production people want from your product? A well-set manufacturing process. There should not be repeated issues in the manufacturing, minimum processing time, and no work or rejects. And the quality function requires close to midpoint of the defined ranges. Means, for example, the assay limit is defined to be between say 98 to 102% of the label claim. Quality would expect that it should always remember not between 98 to 102, but rather 99.5 to say 105 max. There should not be any deviations or out of specifications, no stability failures, no market recalls or market complaints. And of course, what R&D head expects, the scientific publication, IP generation, then scope for future development, and of course, recognition and rewards for the team. The list of clients doesn't end here. There are regulatory agencies also. They want CGMP compliance, meeting unmet patient need and insurance coverage. And then there are policymakers who these could be even the politicians of your nations who are looking what economic and healthcare impact your product is bringing on your surrounding community. So with these many clients or customers to satisfy, the pharma project management could be then envisaged into different verticals depending upon the product mix that you are having. It could be, say, because every market, every kind of product development will require different kind of management and technical skills. And what I have enlisted are these many verticals. There could be more or less depending upon the organization structure and the policies. So what I have represented here is the generic medicine for US, generic medicine for Europe. In the rest of the world market, it could be branded or branded generic. Then there could be a separate vertical of project management for technology intensive products. There could be one vertical for NCE research, one for vaccines or biologicals or biosimilars, and there could be another vertical for in licensing and outsourcing. The head of project management could be one, or those verticals could represent two different business heads or R&D heads, depending upon your organization structure. But there has to be also a dotted line reporting between the functions, then only the collaboration and sharing of common utilities or resources is possible. So let us go through discovery projects. Actually, all of these verticals can form a separate topic for discussion, but I'm just quickly touching upon this NCE research. And then I will go to vaccine research because that is so relevant in today's COVID time. And the third one would be generic research, which is the bread and butter for most of Indian companies like us. So as you are aware of, any drug from its inception to market, when it is a new chemical entity, it has to go through certain stages of development. So on one hand, you are developing the therapeutic program. On the other hand, you are also developing the market, and hence you are developing the label for the project. So in early development of basic research program, it starts with a chemical compound. So again, this has to start with a specific objective. You simply can't, keep on synthesizing the molecules and just test for pharmacological activity. You have a specific goal in mind. Say you want to develop a antibiotic for treating multi-strain resistant whatever gram-negative organisms or something. So then you start with a typical chemical structural moiety, and then you start developing different analogs. And so this is basically a chemistry research there. Then you study the physicochemical characteristics, how stable is it, what is its solubility, what is its partition coefficient, so that you are correlating it to bioavailability in vivo. Then basically applying the screening methods, then you go to select a few molecules for next stage. Then here you start developing the synthetic skills. It cannot be so complicated that it becomes very cost intensive, because in today's world you also have to benchmark against the current available therapeutic alternatives. So I'll have to benchmark cost of my antibiotic, say, compared to azithromycin, clarithromycin, or cephalosporins, or the like, which are already available in the market, because I cannot come up with a molecule which is 10 times costlier than the existing molecule. Then probably I will not have any marketing option left if that is so costly. So second phase is preclinical and pharmacological development, in which you study its quantitative structure activity relationship. You develop in vitro models. If it is an antibiotic research, you would probably develop different cultures, study the zone of inhibition, and you also then do some animal experimentation. You do carry out its LD50, ED50 values, and all those things. Then, and you also study the dose linearity relationships. In the third phase, it is the pharmaceutical development when you are developing a dosage form. On the API side or chemistry side, you are also scaling up the API process. You are finalizing the specifications for the API, as well as for the dosage form. Then you are studying stability of both the API and the dosage form. You are developing bioanalytical and analytical methods for the next phase of testing, which will go in preclinical safety, that is toxicology and toxicokinetics, the absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion, that is ADME studies, and also the safety studies in animals. Having generated all this data, then you go for IND or a CTA submission. You develop a briefing book and the clinical trial protocols, and then you submit to the regulatory authorities to seek approval to start your phase 1 clinical trial. Again, you are all aware, depending upon the phase 1 trial outcome, then you go to phase 2 trials, and then phase 3 trials, and then even phase 4 trials, which are after marketing and multicentric. And with all these things, you are also developing your regulatory document. And for that, you have to have data at scale-up level, formulation refinement if it is required, the human factor study you have done. You have also finalized the content on your final level, and then you go for NDA filing. And while this scientific study and scientific development is going on, there is also a market research. This market research and development is also going on. Also a vigil on intellectual property coverage is done. Regulatory also has to keep on studying the regulatory dynamics. You also have to have intelligence of the competitors' activities, and you also have to understand whether my product will get an insurance coverage. And as a project manager, you are also making what you call articles or scripts for investor updates. So what I'm trying to underline here is, when all these technical development and research activities are going on, the project manager has to have an understanding of not only the technical issues, but also the business, regulatory, and IP dynamics. Then only he can actually take a neutral view or an unbiased view of the project. And as I said, he has to facilitate also when there is a technical glitch, but at the same time, he has to give a very realistic picture of the project so that the management takes a decision whether to invest on this project, whether to take it forward, or whether to nip it in the bud so that you don't keep on investing on a non-performing asset. There is always a management phrase that is quoted so often that I don't want to invest good money for bad money. So management does not want to keep on investing on a non-promising project. What happens is, usually a research scientist becomes so obsessed, so attached to his project that he doesn't want to give up the project. He wants to keep on trying with the hope that one day he will surely succeed. Hum honge kamayab ek din. But for they say that for one molecule that sees the day of the light, there are 1,000 molecules which are, discarded during different phases of discovery and development. And that is the fact of the life. And hence, project manager has to be a very detached and neutral person in this process. Then coming to vaccine development. In vaccine development, I have given a representation of the way it is done in India, and I have taken just there are 2-3 different kinds of protocols that are applicable depending upon whether it is derived from live modified organism or whether I mean there are different ways of assessing the risk groups. So this protocol one I am citing wherein first of all you make an application for in which you are making application for developing, manufacturing and marketing for the products derived from live modified organism in bulk or finished formulation, where the end product is not live modified organism. Now, in this category also there are different risk groups. Risk group one is when it it can cause disease in healthy, it cannot cause a disease in healthy humans. That is the low risk group. Say in the risky second risk group, it can cause mild symptoms in healthy humans, but abundant treatment options are available. Third risk group is where it can cause disease definitely in healthy humans, and there are a few treatment options available. And risk group above 4 is where it can cause disease in healthy humans and no treatment or prophylactic option is established option is available. Probably your COVID-19 would fall in risk group 3 and above. So how do you start the vaccine application? First, you form an internal committee, the institutional biosafety committee. It has to be screened through them. It is something like you have internal ethics committee for your bio study. Similarly, this institutional biosafety committee, it evaluates the risk of the prospective vaccine, and then based upon their recommendations, you make an application to the RCGM. RCGM is the Review Committee on Genetic Manipulation, which is a government body. Then reviewing the data and the protocols that you have submitted, they may approve your preclinical studies. Then necessarily you have to conduct the trials in animals, and based upon the animal study data, then you can again make an application to review committee for recommending clinical trial. Then DCGI, then if RCGM recommends or gives go ahead to DCGI for clinical trial, then DCGI can approve your clinical trial. After the clinical trial, DCGI may approve your product for manufacture and authorization under Drugs and Cosmetics Act, and it will continue to monitor it post marketing also. While this is true of first and second risk group, the process is little complicated for risk group 3 and above, because there are different bodies that come into play. One of them is GEAC. GEAC is Generic Engineering Approval Committee, which comes under the Ministry of Forests, and it also studies if it can have a long-term impact on the environment or human race as a whole. And if they are satisfied that there are no potential permanent harmful genetic modifications that may take place in human beings or animals because of this vaccine, then only it will give permission to conduct human clinical trials. And after this, again, it will follow either the same route that it gives a recommendation for DCGI to approve the product and market, or sometimes it will also ask for an one more step of approval, that is under the Environment Protection Act, uh, based on risk versus benefit of this vaccine, because this is a genetic modification, and hence it may also add one more step of approval of environmental clearance, and then the vaccine gets approved. As I am trying to underline the importance that all these developments and the applications, they involve not only the technical skills but understanding of the regulatory requirements and different laws that come into picture, as well as what is the surrounding, like what is the market, what is the pandemic situation. So the project manager has to do a balancing act for that. Going to generic development, I think I have been given 1.5 hours. I think it will little bit cross it. Is that okay, Dr. Shetty? Maybe 10 minutes more or 10-15 minutes more. Dr. Shetty? Okay, I'm not able to hear anyone. I'm continuing. So in generic development, it starts with project identification. That if you also have a, if you are backward integrated for development of active pharmaceutical ingredient, then one decision that requires to be taken at the start of the project is whether the API will be developed in-house or you are going to outsource the API. So if it is going to be an in-house developed API, then it will start with API development also. So API scale up, DMF batches stability and DMF filing. This will be one project that probably one project manager will look after, and another project manager will work and to monitor the progress after the development quantity is delivered for prototype formulation development, taking it through lab scale development to like crossing all these stages like pilot B, exhibit batches, stability, pivotal B, regulatory filing, regulatory approvals, validation batches, and launch. So one project manager would probably take it through from this point to this point, and another project manager would actually be working in close coordination with this person, but he is tracking the progress of API development so that the expectations for the product filing and introduction are met in parallel with the API development. But again, generic development is not so easy. In today's world, the structure of organization becomes as complicated as this. In probably the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, they have described Ashwatha Vriksha. This Samsar Vriksha is figuratively called as Ashwatha Vriksha, and they say that Narupamatsya tathopalabdhate nanto na chadir na cha sampratishtha. कहाँ से शुरू कहाँ से खत्म वही नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, because the companies want to do everything. They want to have their presence in different markets. So every market has a different regulatory need. Not only regulatory need, even the market presentation is many times different. That some strains are selling in Indian market. There are other, say, India has A, C, and D strains in Indian market. Europe has A, B. US has A, B, C, D, E, F. And again, the product presentations are also different. Say India, it is sold in blister pack or what is it called? Normal alu foil pack. In Europe, it is invariably blister pack, and in US, it is bottle pack. So it is the same product, but it is packaged differently. The stability conditions are different in Zone 4 countries, say in Latin American countries. So all these things have to be taken care of, and project manager has to, make the development group aware of these requirements requirements and make sure that their development program covers all these requirements of to cater to the different markets. This gets even more complicated when your company has different R&D locations. Then it should not happen that the same project is being developed by two locations independently. So that coordination has to be also maintained, and depending upon the expertise available in-house, or you want to deploy some outsource agency for contract development, that decision also has to be taken. It is so also true for the manufacturing locations. You might have some in-house locations, or you might be getting it contract manufactured. And you may also be parallelly developing all of it in one go, like NC, biotech, generic, and different technology platforms. And your management has decided to keep it under the same central project management stream. Then you cannot be so complicated yours like this. You have to be better organized and better coordinated. I just wanted to show in which different markets we operate, uh, either independently or through partners. So project manager has to, be a center point, and they are interacting and coordinating with different functions. Therefore, you have to coordinate with. I'm just giving you different facets wherein you have to be vigilant, and you have to have your coordination done. Like it starts with legal, commercial, or technical agreements, or if this is outsourced, you also have to coordinate for the facility inspections, then technology in licensing or out licensing, compliance and quality oversight, continuity of business supply, commercial supply, so that your projects should not hamper the regular businesses, and you are not hampering a regular commercial supply of the existing products. And as I said, probably you will also have to develop multiple sources for API, excipients, and packaging materials, so that your project is foolproof and you are catering to the business needs. I think someone has drawn this. Can someone remove this? Then
yes,
when it is
can you remove that? Yes, okay, remove.
Okay, thank you. Okay. As I said, when there are multiple R&D locations, then the project selection has to be done by a global strategy team, so that you can take a call which R&D would be awarded this project. Like we have 3 in-house research centers, and outsourced development is also carried out. Then a call has to be taken at the start of the project to which R&D center the project has to be awarded, and then there you have to define the scope of the project. Whether the project is going to be a global product, that is the R&D sitting in India will develop the project and cater to all the markets, or this product is specifically being developed only for Indian market. I mean, there are both the options, both the scenario possible, that a product developed by a specific R&D location is meant for all the territories, or the product is given to a specific R&D because that is being developed only for that specific market. Like India is developing products which are only for Indian market, or in some neighboring countries, ROW, or our European, UK-based R&D is developing the products only for UK and European territories. So this decision also is required to be taken, and as per that, some as I said, your stability program, in what level of in vitro characterization required, the BAB studies plan, it will be then dependent on the scope of the project. Hence, it is very important to define the scope because many a times it happens that we develop a product for a local market and then the management wants to make it global. So then what are the possibilities of meeting the global regulatory requirements? That has to be known to the project manager so that he can make a presentation to the management, and then if required additional work and budget will be asked for to make it global. Similarly, he has to know the in-house manufacturing capabilities so well that he can recommend to the management whether this product can be in-house manufactured or it would require investment in infrastructure so that the product can be manufactured in-house, or can we look for some contract manufacturing facilities wherein quickly we have a facility readily available where we can scale it up. So that's why a project manager is a single point contact for all the shared resources like regulatory affairs. He is constantly interacting with the regulatory group to understand the regulatory needs of the products in different markets. He is also coordinating with manufacturing and quality control units so that he can plan the exhibit batches and the validation and launch batches schedule. He is also working with BAB department to plan the clinical or bioequivalent studies. Supply chain, so probably you work day and night with them for making sure the materials are available, and even for the dispatches and scale up activities. And of course packing development, because as I said, the packaging requirements are different in different markets. These are some of the representative functions that I have enlisted here. There are many more, like there could be intellectual property rights. What else? If you have a separate department for preclinical studies or toxicity studies, if a specific product requires a different kind of characterization, then your contact points keep on increasing. So what is basically difference between a project leader and a project manager? Project leader is the person who is actually developing that project, and hence he has a thorough and in-depth knowledge about that subject. As compared to that, project manager is jack of all trades. So while the project leader knows the project in detail, in depth, the project manager understands its potential, in which markets, in which unmet patient groups this project has its potential. A project leader, since he has to work on the project hands-on, he handles an limited number of projects, and whereas project manager is involved in more number of projects. So the best part of being in project management is you get to learn a lot because you are technically involved in all the discussions, and so then you can actually help in different projects. Like a project leader can offer help in his area of expertise. So the project manager can bring the experts together. So it's a win-win situation for the project leader and project manager, because project leader gets the help that is required for his project, and project manager can meet the objective of taking the project forward. And I think this is okay. One of the less discussed topic, but what is also important is the project manager has to have a very good human contact. Many a times in today's world, you have to meet with people from different ethnicities and different nationalities, different value structure, and we don't speak the same language. But then as when it comes to the project, we have to make sure that everyone speaks the same language. You have to literally bring people on the same platform, and that's why you have to be a very good communicator. You should have that empathy. You should understand what with what mindset a person is coming from, then only you can connect with him. Many a times we have these preset notions in our mind, but for project success, what is required is you should be able to cross that cultural barrier. And therefore, I would encourage direct interaction rather than writing mails. Just pick up a phone. Now, actually, these platforms like Zoom and Microsoft Teams have made it more easy that you can actually interact with people on a real-time basis, even though you are sitting in different time zones. This helps in building mutual trust and confidence. I mean, I have seen it happen so many times that, like, I'll cite you an example. We have our R&D in UK also. One project was being developed in UK R&D, and it was being supported by India. Like the API was being developed in India, and the formulation was being developed in UK. And in one of the review meetings, this product was basically for a European market. So in one of the review meetings, when chairman was reviewing the market potential in Europe, and then they realized that there would not be much of margin left in this project because many number of competitors are coming in, and hence he decided to kill that project or stop that project. So when the decision was taken, it would have been anyways communicated to me through email or as minutes of meetings taken by a project manager sitting in UK. But before that, the UK business head, he called me to inform that I wanted to inform you that this project is being shelved. And I just wanted to keep you informed because you have taken so much pain to actually make it happen. But unfortunately, due to unfavorable market situations, we have to kill it. I mean, that was a sort of recognition for the efforts put in, and it is mutual. Like if I have some resource constraint or I need some information, I want some support, I can simply pick up phone and call my colleague in US, in Brazil, or in Dubai, in Switzerland. That sort of oneness, it gets built when you are working for a common cause. And that's why I have highlighted that we have what is called as Vocard anthem. It starts with Vocardian life wins. Like it makes it clear by repeatedly saying that we are working for the same objective. And while, as I said, that just pick up a phone and speak to him, but then you also have to be cognizant of the fact that you are working in different time zones, so that you should not encroach on anyone's personal timings. And for that matter, I start with a list of holidays at the start of the year. So what is the competency building curriculum of project manager? What all does he have to know before he can embark the journey of project management? First of all, he needs to know the basic project management tools like making a Gantt chart, what is the CPM and PERT model, which are the optimization techniques, these how the cost estimates are done. All these project management tools should be known to him. He has to have the core technical knowledge so that he should not get fooled by the technical team. On the contrary, he can challenge the technical assumptions. So you cannot do away with the technical knowledge. That's why he has to actually either start knowledge enhancement initiatives. We had this program running in like this is a voluntary program wherein someone studies a particular subject of business interest and he makes a presentation. So that helps to improve your communication and presentation skills also, and it also makes you study in a different subject and learn more about that project, learn more about that You also have to keep on reading the regulatory updates like US FDA guidelines and what are the recent things that are being discussed in different regulatory forums. Communication skills, that is probably the given thing, that if you don't have communication skills, please don't apply for the post of project manager. You have to manage your time, and you have to know the financial aspects also, basically the cash flow, calculating margins, costing, all those things, presentation skills, conflict management, and interpersonal skills. So, and the last is operations keep the light on. Strategy provides light at the end of the tunnel, but project management is the train engine that moves the organization forward. I think this was about all. If there are any questions, I would like to take.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for a wonderful and informative session. It is you are very easily explain the project management. Now I request Sumit sir to please start with the question answer session.
If anybody wants to directly interact with madam, they can also interact directly.
Sumit
Sumit
sir,
sir?
have you joined?
Yes, 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 madam. Yes, madam.
Do I have to see in the chat box?
Yes, ma'am. You can also see the chat box. Actually, basically, some questions are from YouTube, and
Okay.
some questions have been noted down.
Then you please.
Most of the participants are on YouTube, so they have collected some questions from YouTube live streaming.
Okay.
Okay. Some have requested that they want to have one-to-one interaction. So those who want to interact with madam, they can interact directly. Host, can you please unmute everybody now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Just unmute all.
Okay.
So that they can interact it.
Just a minute. I read one very interesting question. How do you keep motivated in situation where you expect success but not get there? I would like to quote, जब कष्टों का हो सामना हमने सीखा नहीं हारना. Don't give up. The success may not come immediately. And again, sometimes you also have to understand that this is not my cup of tea. I have to give up. Let me scrap this project and go to the second. That could be one extreme thing. But when there are technical hurdles, as I said, open up, there are possibilities. Like you might not know something, but then it becomes very easy for someone else who comes from a different background and he knows it better. For example, a very small thing, like we were in a meeting, chairman asked, what is the selling price for this product in US market? At what cost does the innovator sell this product? I mean, like we started looking at each other. Unfortunately, the data was not available handy. Immediately, our managing director gave some figure. I mean, I was so surprised that he was not briefed earlier about this project, and just sitting there, he gave the selling price. I said, where did you get it from? He said it was in your presentation itself. You had given the total market size in terms of value and in terms of volume. I simply divided the value by volume, it gave the selling price. Like you have the solutions many a times available with you on your table, and you don't are able to see it because of some preconceived notions or because of जैसे कहते हैं ना कि बहुत ज्यादा प्यार भी अंधा कर देता है, and you are not able to see the things that are available with you. So just open up, and there are possibilities that there is someone who's ready to help you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think one question is
Yes,
there
yes, yes.
in the chat box.
The question is from Nityanand Jadbuke, sir. Is there any software available to control or track multiple activities?
Oh, there are many softwares available. The basic software comes is this Microsoft Projects. Then you also have a module in your SAP, and I'm just, I mean, you have many customized softwares also available. So that is not a big thing, like Pharma Stakeholders करके और एक software है. But you know what? To be able to use the software, you should basically know the functions. Like it's not you have Microsoft Excel, that doesn't make you a mathematician.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Is anyone directly want to interact with ma'am? They can.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Nityanand Dharuke from pharmaceutical industry. It was a nice presentation on theory and practice of project management. It's a part 1, so we are eagerly waiting for part 2, ma'am.
Yeah, actually, project management is such a big, such a vast area that you cannot actually cover it in just one. I agree. Probably multiple sessions would be required if you really want to go in detail and understand it in depth.
Yeah, and you just discussed that there will be a certification course of PMI.
Yes.
Management Institute. Before going to that project management institute course, we are eagerly waiting for session 2.
Okay, let us see how soon can we work it out.
Okay, ma'am, there is one more question. Whatever softwares you just mentioned, okay, the question is from Mr. Prem, that how effective these softwares are for generic development.
They are not effective. If you frankly ask my opinion, they are not that effective, because what happens is, they are all logic based. Like when this happens, the next interdependency is this. After that, there is the third interdependency. While it can give a visual representation of the progress of the project, but if you really want to monitor, in at least Indian scenario, it has not helped us a lot. There are multiple factors for that. First of all, I mean, there is a flaw in our basic culture. I'm quite critical about that, but people very easily tell lies. Like the project manager has gone to, take update. He would say that, yes, this work is done. So project management, records it that such and such task is completed, whereas the task is actually in progress. So, so what happens is the next interdependent task has already started, but the next person has not received the inputs that he has to get from his predecessor. So then unnecessarily that task looks delayed. And then there is a lot of heartburn and, blame game, and then ultimately it comes to the project manager that no, he has entered it wrongly. We also tried another model wherein a person who is completing the task has to enter it in the software, so that he cannot say that it was erroneously entered or someone has erroneously done that. Then people either make false entries or they don't make any entries at all. My own experience has not been very good. Okay, the project can be managed well when you have only few milestones shown on the project management software, and it is basically used as MIS, the management information software. Per se, the project management through that software is very difficult and challenging. I mean, you end up spending more energy on updating the software than actually controlling the project. It's a call that you have to take, because there are other factors also that affect the project. Like, every project doesn't go in its predefined path. I have shown the factors that can affect the project, like the management interest, the market trend, availability of funds. All those things can affect the project timelines and path. And then you have to reiterate your project management plan and update your project plan in the software. As I said, it becomes very cumbersome when there are so many frequent changes in the project plan.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. One more question is there from Miss Komal Bhamre. Okay. She's a MBA student, and she has asked that what is the scope of project management in her field?
As I said, project management has scope in every field. I mean, if you are counting it by terms of remuneration, I would say that unless you have developed a certain kind of experiential knowledge, the tacit knowledge, you should not go in project management, because then people can literally take you for a ride. This being very technical, you don't understand. I say बहुत easily कह सकते हैं.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else who wants to interact with ma'am?
Can I just interact? Yes, madam.
Yeah, yes.
So this is my name is Rajesh Kumar. Nice to interact with you, madam, and thank you for the very nice presentation.
Thank you.
Wanted to know from the what you were just talking about, project managers entering the wrong data. Is it that is it a cultural context limited to India? Because typically I've seen in the West, they follow this project management approach much better.
Yes. That's why I said that I was a little critical on our kind of culture, because people somehow are scared to say that I have not delivered it time, I'm late, I failed. It is very difficult to accept that. They would rather keep the things under the carpet than accepting the failure. And failure, they take it too personally. Actually, it's the project failure. And if you open up, if you ask for help, then you actually have a possibility of taking it to success.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, there is one more question from Mr. Prabhakar Panjade. That how this project management thing can be helpful in the initiative that is our Prime Minister has taken of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, how helpful could it be?
Okay, as I said, that's a very good question. That the projects, they translate the strategy into actual action plan. When you are saying that Atmanirbhar Bharat is the mission statement made by Prime Minister, then it should translate into different projects that leads to self-reliance in everyone's field.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else who wants to interact?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, madam, for your wonderful lecture. We are expecting your second session too. My question to you, madam, is regarding what qualities a student should have. You have explained in brief, but I want to know in detail. And second thing, how much experience you should have from different fields to be a successful project manager?
I would say at least 2 to 3 years experience in one of the fields. You cannot have the kind of experience and exposure a project manager gets if you are in functional field. But to begin with, at least you should spend some time in one of the functions. That is a basic requirement, I would say. And it could be any function. Like when I'm selecting project managers, usually I have taken people from within the organization who have earlier worked in any one of the fields, so that at least they know that area and then they bring that expertise to the function. So I have had people who have come from marketing background, from quality function, from analysis, from formulation development, from tech transfer, from chemical research, from regulatory, from bio study, and everyone has added his experience to the project management knowledge within the organization. And then the tacit knowledge you gain when you are working on the project.
Thank you, ma'am.
Exactly. One request was there. Sorry to interrupt. I received a call from some delegates from Hyderabad. Some there. So they are also present for this webinar, and they have requested that can we conduct such more interactive sessions so that we can have insight to the project management and we can go for further in detailing of the project management. It has been so nicely covered, the different aspects of project management, program and portfolio management, then evolution of project management, elements that is required for project management, then general project characteristics you have covered, then different role of the project management, different, what is the leader, difference of leader and all. So it has, you have given in very short period of time, you have given very elaborative idea regarding project management. I hope and extend that each and everyone now are aware of the project management. We are very excited for further sessions because we do believe that yes, it should be explored, and each and every member will be happy. I just want to share that we had a discussion with the VC Vice Chancellor sir, and they want your time, madam, that can we include this in our syllabus, or can we have one short-term course regarding project management, because it is need of a time, because
yes.
Unless and you are not
I'm very much delighted to hear that, because I'm so passionate about it. And as you know, as I was showing in my presentation, when I shifted to project management, I actually started reading many books on project management because I did not have anyone to guide me or tell me what project management is and how it should be present in pharma industry. So actually, we paved our path through uncharted forests, and then we struggled a lot. But then it was a learning experience personally for me also. And over a period, then when I realized the potential and what actually miraculous changes project management can bring in, I actually developed a lot of interest and became more passionate about this stream. So if I can be of any help to the students or other industry peers, why not? I'll have to discuss that with my management, and if you really want to make it a short certificate course or whatever at the university level, we can work it out. I will have to check with my management. But then if you can please provide some what you call the areas of interest, then we can actually design the module accordingly. Because
yes. I'll send you the proposal accordingly. Just have a talk with your management so that we can work it accordingly. Second thing, in future, for further, what was the request from the all the staff members and from the industry, that they want to have a more insight on this. So can we conduct some more sessions apart from the students? Now this was a very nice session for students perspective, and for we too also, because this was the first time. Because it is not included in the syllabus, it has nothing to do with the syllabus, and it is one of the most important aspect and part of an industry to achieve a goal or objective. So it was a request from all of us, from all the management and staff members and some of the delegates from the industry. Can we have some more sessions likewise to have a more depth regarding the project management, madam?
I think we can do that, because since this was a first session, it was more of an introductory type of session. And as I said, that every aspect, like I showed different phases of the project, like from initiation, development of the concept, and then second is planning. Probably each of these stages would require a different dwelling or different elaboration, because there are so many intricacies involved at each stage. I think we can plan something like that, but
Yes,
you'll have to give me time, because
that's why I'm
there
taking,
are so many things in my head, but then it takes time to put it in the form of a presentation.
that's why I utilize the opportunity to ask, ma'am. So thank you for accepting. We are expecting many more sessions likewise, because definitely it will enlighten us in a very vast way, and definitely it will boost the moral of everybody to have an insight to the project management actually on field, how it is to be worked out. Now I request Rashmi madam, can you elaborate now in future? I don't think so any questions are there. If anybody still want to interact, they can interact. So we will move towards the next session.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, the area of interest for next session is obviously the pharmaceutical generic development.
Of course, the next session would be only on pharmaceutical industry only. But
Yeah.
as I said, okay, there are different ways of looking at it. Like how do you, plan budget, or how do you select a project? How do you institutionalize control mechanisms or for evaluation of the project, evaluation of the progress of the project? These are some different topics that come to my mind. If you have something like this in your mind, you can please let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Prashant sir, can you share the screen now?
Sure, sir. I suppose, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because if suppose, as we are planning to have more industries very closer to our university, so we can have the interaction of madam with honorable vice chancellor sir. I talked with sir, but he is busy with some other assignments. So today he cannot give the time, but in future surely we can have the dialogue with vice chancellor sir and the madam, because we want all the industries to be closer to our university.
Sorry to interrupt, madam. Let me introduce. He is Dr. N.H. Alurkar, Dean, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technology University. He is Dean.
Okay.
He also attended the program.
Okay. Thank you very much.
He has taken an initiative to have a collaboration with that. So he is the main role model for us to have and work out with this.
Okay, that is a very good initiative.
Yes,
madam, because we are in the pipeline to start few of the certificate courses jointly signed by the institute as well as the university. So we have planned few certificate courses. If suppose project management can be a certificate course from the university platform, we can try for that also, madam.
Yes, that would be a very good thing to do actually.
And more important that we are also planning to have the research centers located at the university, research center of the university at the industry site also.
Okay. Actually, you know what, and that has been my sort of long-term dream personally. Like the university research center should be of such a quality that we should look up to you for getting more scientific knowledge and technology platforms from the university rather than the other way around. So
we are trying in that direction, madam. It's a new university, just having the age of 3 years after affiliation, but still we are planning to have so many activities under its umbrella. Surely we will be in touch with you for further updates.
Okay, thank you.
Alurkar sir, also so many delegates are from industry. We can see Rajesh Kumar sir is also there, who is GM of Atra Pharmaceuticals, I guess. So we can have a direct interaction with sir also.
Sure. I really enjoyed the session. So let me just give my thanks to firstly Varda Bapat madam for giving such an enlightened lecture, and secondly to you, Dr. Shelke, for facilitating the entire dialogue. So I think that's very nice of the Srinath College of Pharmacy to have facilitated this industry plus, I would say, academia dialogue. And I think that's a very good point by Dr. Bapat, that what she says is that if you can have project management as a course in the university, then the students who are coming out will be more geared towards employability. You know, what happens is once they join the work, they are not very good in terms of taking the project management approach. And I think that is something that needs to be done better. So that's something that would be very much desirable. But thanks a lot. Thank you once again.
Yes. Okay. Rashmi madam, can you take the charge now? Prashant,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you share the screen, Prashant?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, once again for this very wonderful, interactive, and informative session. And in very easy way, like Mangalayan story type, you have explained us how the project management is. So, and how we can build the competency in building the curriculum for the project manager. So all these things are really appreciable, ma'am. And I hope you will accept our invitation for the further sessions as well. So now I request our principal, sir, to please felicitate ma'am by presenting the certificate of appreciation. So, ma'am, virtually we are presenting this. Kindly accept that.
Thank you very much. You
Prashant,
can
sir?
mail this to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, definitely. I think so, some technical issue. Prashant, sir, are you there? Hello?
Sir, certificate is visible, sir.
Yeah, it is visible. Okay, I thought it is not visible. Okay.
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Again, on behalf of Srinath College of Pharmacy, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, on behalf of staff members, faculties, research scholars, industrialists, I thanks a lot, madam, for sparing your time, giving the time for this wonderful session. Looking forward for much more sessions. This is just we cannot do more than this of appreciation, madam. This is just a token of love and appreciation. Thank you, madam. Thank you for giving
Thank you.
us space. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Sumit sir to please kindly put the vote of thanks about this today's webinar.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Okay, dear participants, the today's session, as far as it is concerned with, okay, we all have experienced some unusual and unexpected situations for past few months, right? Because of this pandemic, the things are very much disturbed economically, financially, and it has hampered every corner of the globe. Okay. So such situations, if we want to build a sustainable future, a sustainable product, a sustainable establishment, okay, and that can absorb such shock and ups and downs, okay, the project management is the key. Okay, and it is not only in terms of industries or business or establishments or institutions. Okay, the project management can be utilized in our day-to-day life also. And ma'am has introduced us with the project management in a very concise and informative session. Okay. She has explained all the aspects of the project management, starting from the the difference between the project, the event, the program, and the portfolio. Okay, and she has cleared that project management is nothing, something not that is invented. That is already something that was available with us. Okay, that was already with us. And she has explained different evolutionary steps of project management. Then she has explained project characteristics and variables that are to be followed while implementing any project in a industry. Okay, and she has also explained how the things can go wrong if the variables of the 4 quadrants that she has explained. Okay, if something goes wrong, then the product might fail in some context. Okay, the examples, all the things were explained with examples like Mission Mangal, the Tata, the General Electrics. Okay, and which was very helpful for the participants as well as the students who are listening and it has made the understanding very much easier. In the later stage of the presentation, she has explained how the project management can be enacted in the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, starting from the basic research, the preclinical and clinical studies, the data scale up, the regulatory affairs, the NDA filing, on all these things. Okay, the project management manager has to keep control on all these things. Additionally, on a parallel way, he also has to look forward for the market research, the competitors' activities, and the insurance coverage, etc. Okay. The project manager is really the key between the regulatory affairs, maybe quality control, manufacturing, the clinical trials, the supply chain, and might be the packaging development. Okay, he is the one who is the linkage between all these things, and along with handling all these things, on the top of that, the project manager has to handle the good human contact. Okay, that is very much essential if one project has to be successfully implemented. Okay, so I thank Dr. Bapat ma'am for this very informative and concise session with us, and I hope that all our participants and the students have got a very good insight of this topic through your presentation. So to end this session, I would like to thank Dr. Varda madam on behalf of BGPS and Srinath College of Pharmacy for attending and delivering such a beautiful session. And I would also like to thank our management, specifically Secretary Mr. Eknath Jadhav sir, and Additional Secretary, Joint Secretary Mr. Raman Jadhav, for giving this opportunity for arranging this seminar. And next, I would like to thank our respected Dr. Shelke sir, who is constantly supporting us, motivating us for such kind of activities. Now, next, I would like to thank our participants from industry, from academics, and the students from different institutions who have attended this session. Lastly, I would like to thank our coordinators who have beautifully coordinated this session, and the staff members of Srinath College of Pharmacy for their kind support. Thank you, one and all. We would like to hear Dr. Bapat madam for next sessions also. I think we should stop here then. Shelke sir?
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a wonderful time. You are 10 वर्षापूर्वी तसंच होतं, आजही तसंच आहे मॅडम. I was working with you in 2006. Still after 15 years, I'm seeing you as younger as that time. You are still an energy for all of us. Thank you, madam. Thank you for the energy. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. Just few instructions for the participants. Feedback form link is will be provided on your mail ID, registered mail ID. You have to fill that feedback form about this session, and you'll receive the e-certificate after successful completion of that feedback form. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
May I take your leave now?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll end the meeting now. Sir?
Yes, end the meeting now. Thank you all.